All right, welcome to Between the Whistles Detroit. I'm your host, Joe Chapman. Today we're going to be talking about Detroit Tigers baseball. The Detroit Tigers, they salvaged a horrible weekend that was with the San Diego Padres coming into Detroit. They lost the first two, and then they won 3-1 today with Alex Viola giving one hit over 6 innings. The pitching did a great job today, but when you look forward, there's a potential possibility that Michael Lorenzen and Eduardo Rodriguez are going to be dealt. Now, I thought it was interesting about the Buster Olney tweet, which he tweeted out just recently, that the Baltimore Orioles are looking to get an arm for their pitching staff, and they're willing to give up some pieces to their roster. Now, this could intrigue Mr. Scott Harris because Scott Harris is going to look at every opportunity to get better this year, as well as not really pigeonholing himself for the future too. He's got to get rid of Michael Lorenzen. He's got to get rid of Eduardo Rodriguez, and you know, I feel like with Scott Harris, I feel like a lot of people say, why did Scott Harris not make the right roster adjustments in his first time coming in? And a lot of times when you talk to general managers of any ilk, from the Major League Baseball to NHL to NFL or NBA, they always say they need to really see the team with their eyes. And unless you're a GM coming into a situation where you are a winning team, you really need to see what's going on with your eyes, and you really need to see what's going on with the team. Now, in terms of the Detroit Tigers, I think that they were set back by a general manager who signed some pretty ridiculous contracts, including Javi Baez, which is going to be a total detriment to this team for another couple years. But here's the hoping that you could just send him a check and get him on his way. It's very rough what Scott Harris inherited. He inherited one of the worst minor leagues in the Major League Baseball. I mean, when you're talking about Jackson Jobe, when you're talking about Colt Keith, and when you're talking about that's it. I mean, Justin Henry Malloy, he traded for. So when you're talking about those players, like, and you compare it to like the Braves or you compare it to other teams, like it's not even close to the same thing. So what Scott Harris is going to have to do this offseason is he's going to have to make this roster better, but he's also going to have to make this organizational better. And that starts with the minor leagues. That starts with the international free agents. And it's going to be interesting to see what the way they spend the money that Miguel Cabrera's money is going to come off the books this offseason. It's sad because the Detroit Tigers are once again entering a rebuild into purgatory. I mean, like, look, when El Avila was here, they made some bad decisions and they'd really made some bad trades that really didn't pan out like they thought. I'm pretty sure that the trade for JD Martinez, where they got Dao Lugo, and I can't even name the other players, but it was a total albatross. Justin Verlander for Jake Rogers and Franklin Perez, which was supposed to be the deal, the biggest part of the deal, and Franklin Perez has been hurt lately. So, and he's not even with the team. I don't even think, or I haven't even heard. Um, it's just rough because the Tigers have been rebuilding and they should be in a better spot. Ultimately, they just haven't been doing a good enough at the player acquisition phase. This is where Scott Harris is really going to have to earn his money. Obviously, you can rebuild a team within 2 to 3 years, become a contender or even contend for the division in any other division. But in the AL Central, you might be even better best bet to contend earlier than later, because this division isn't good. And as long as the Kansas City Royals are in this division, Chicago White Sox are, I don't even know what they're doing. They're a talented team and they just can't get it together. Minnesota's a pretty decent team, and so is Cleveland. But look, there's no one in the division that you go, oh my God, there's the Tampa Bay Rays. Oh my God, there's the New York Yankees. Oh my God, there's the Baltimore Orioles. Oh my God, there's the Dodgers. There's no team in the AL Central that scares you like that. So this is going to be a big offseason for Scott Harris, and there's going to be some good players available in free agency, but ultimately, it's going to start where he's going to go into the player acquisition phase this coming week. I think it's probably a week from now. August 1st, the trade deadline, and he's going to have to get rid of Michael Lorenzen and Eduardo Rodriguez and maybe more if he can find it. And if he can get enough prospects back that really can equal out a return and help this team move forward, and then you go into the offseason, you get some free agents, and you do some things the right way, because Scott Harris showed that his ability to get player acquisition, especially with like McKinstry, it worked out pretty well. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does moving forward and what the Tigers do moving forward. And as always, you will see this here only on Between the Whistles Detroit. We're going to have more Tigers stuff, videos coming out, especially when we get closer to the trade deadline and all that. But look, this season and the fake wild card push, it's over. We can kind of move forward. We have the Lions to look forward to, the Red Wings to look forward to, Michigan and Michigan State football to look forward to, and we'll wean down the Major League Baseball season with the Detroit Tigers on Between the Whistles Detroit Sports. And we will see you in the next video where we do that.